Week 1, we got Chiefs-Lions on the Thursday night. NFL's back, Super Bowl champ against a team that a lot of people expect to do well. Despite Travis Kelce's injury and the lack of wide receiver depth that the Chiefs supposedly have, and Chris Jones not being there, I'm still taking the Chiefs minus 5.5. That line moved from 6.5 to 5.5 after Travis Kelce he's not ruled out yet, but he's out. He's out for sure this week. And then I also love the over 53. So that number dropped from 54.5 to 53 on Bet365. I'm probably going to hammer that on Thursday, and that's going to be my best bet for that game. And two high power offenses. The Lions defense isn't that great. So I think the Chiefs could easily put up, anywhere from, 28 to 35 points. And I think the Lions have a good enough offense where they could put up anywhere from 20 to 27 points, and that over just clears.
Yeah, first game of the year, NFL, I always want to try and find a way to bet the under. Not this year. I'm with you 100%. The number move, Travis Kelce not being there, I think people are always surprised by how little of movement that is. Only 2 points, but that still is a lot for just one player, even if it is Travis Kelce. I think this set us up for a really good game to open up the season. And, you try and find reasons why. Early in the season, first game, what could go wrong? What could make this be an under? The run game. This is the thing. There's so many different pass-catching running backs on both these teams. I think so. You kind of describe those type of plays that they run, the Lions. And even you look at the running back room for the Chiefs as well. You got Hilaire, Jerick McKinnon, and Pacheco. There's 3 guys that are going to get their fair share of stuff, of attention and carries, but also they're going to catch the ball as well. There's so many options. But my best bet on this game is Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
I like that.
Talk about Montgomery. Talk about Gibbs. I think, you're playing a team like the Chiefs. If you and I like the over at over 1.5 passing touchdowns, there's going to be at least one play that we're actually a little bit jaw dropped. Like, wow, Goff just threw it 25 yards and they scored a touchdown. I don't think every touchdown Detroit scores will be a goal line running back touchdown.
Add it to the card.
Add it to the card.
Over
1.5.
I'm in.
And I like Jerick McKinnon over receiving yards. So I'm going to take the full game over with Jake. I like Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And I like Jerick McKinnon over, I think it's 19.5 or 20. It's not that high. So it's around that range. McKinnon over receiving yards. And you guys already know I like the Gibbs receiving, but we'll see what that number is. So that's it for me with Thursday night.
I left off the player props just because. No. But it's Thursday night. They're not going to see the player prop video until Friday. Yeah. So maybe we'll start including the Thursday player props if we want. I'll definitely be betting some player props. I don't know what the lines are on anything, but Andrew knows more than anybody. There's 2 things you can call me: parlay king, player prop king. Love them both. But moving on to the next game. My next game that I had was Bengals-Browns. Bengals-Browns for me. Browns money line. I think notoriously we talked about the Bengals start slow. I really like the roster that the Browns put together this year. I think Deshaun Watson, despite what you might think of him as a person, he's not the greatest person in the world. We all know. I think he has a prove-it season this year. I like Amari Cooper. I like Elijah Moore. I like Nick Chubb, and I like the defense, and I think they do enough to get the win. Joe Burrow was banged up in camp. We don't know how healthy he's going to be coming into camp. That offensive line is definitely an issue, and their defense, to me, can be very hit or miss. If the Browns can put it together, keep to their game plan, hand the ball off, get some deep plays from Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper, have David Njoku involved in the offense, I think this game they could get them, to be honest.
We're going to find out throughout the season if it's a good thing or a bad thing. When me and you were on the same page, I like that as well.
Yeah.
They're one of my favorite teaser plays, getting them up to plus 8.5, but I think my best bet singularly on this game is under 47.5. Division unders in general are a good bet.
Especially in that division.
One, division unders, and especially in that division. You talk about Deshaun finally having a full training camp, preseason, and things like that, but this team is better when they're running the ball. All the numbers show they're better. The coaching staff likes to run the ball. They might have a quarterback now, and they know who their quarterback is, and there's no legal stuff, whatever. They're a better team when they run it. Joe Burrow, it's kind of weird because everybody knows. I heard someone saying this earlier today. I won't take credit, but there's been no line movement in this game. Really? But everybody has known about the Burrow injury. Out of every single game, there's been very minimal line movement in this game, but yet we all know what's going on with Joe Burrow. So
is it a trap line?
I think he might be in, but just might not be doing the same stuff he usually would do. And I feel like we're going to see some dump off, some dink and dunk stuff from the Bengals as well. You know they've got a good kicker, right?
Yeah, I
think this is a really good underplay, under 47.5. That's going to be one of my best bets here, guys. So division unders in general, week 1 division unders, and then looking at run-heavy teams. I think this is a one-score game no matter who wins. I think both teams are very careful. You talked about some key players for the Browns that could stretch the field, but I'm not sure we see that in week 1, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously the Bengals have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Mixon. So obviously I'm just going to kind of feed my side of the argument. I'm not going to play devil's advocate on myself. But next game up that I have is Texans-Ravens. My best bet for the week is the Ravens team total over 27.5 points at -110. I think the Ravens absolutely shit pumped the Texans this week. The Texans are bad on both sides of the ball. Lamar's first game back, new weapons, new offense. J.K. Dobbins is back. I think they're really going to try to show teams this year that we don't necessarily need to rely on the defense to keep us in games. And they're going to try and make an example out of a very, very, very poor Texans team. And then the other bet that I have in that game is Ravens -10. Like I said, I think they shit pumped them. If you want to parlay those two together, I think they go hand in hand. I think if the Ravens put up more than 28 points, they're probably going to win by 10 points or more. I can't see the Texans putting up more than 17 points at best, but those are my two. I don't know. And again, me and Andrew didn't talk about this before, so Andrew might not have a bet on this game, but if you do, feel free, or if there's anything that you want to add to the game, just let me know.
The Ravens game? Yeah, it's kind of funny because I think with our format we want to go with this year, we want to try and bring up different games, but this is just how it works. I have -9.5 in my pocket. It's at -10 now, but I still do endorse it at that. And one of the main reasons is because this is a Ravens team that everybody knows they won like 23 or 24 in a row in the preseason. That got snapped this past preseason. But no matter what their scores were in the preseason, they give a shit. They care about the preseason. John Harbaugh cares about it. And that is often translated into week 1. I can't remember the exact trends, the stats. Hopefully you guys take my word for it. This team has a really strong, not just straight up, but against the spread record in week 1. And especially, they put up big points. They don't really take their foot off the gas pedal. So I do like your team total play. It might not sound like a big move, but it went from 9.5 to 10. So you're not getting that key number as much as you were before.
You were looking for that football number.
But I do like the Ravens, just like Jake does quite a bit in that one. I'll go to one I like as well, and this might shock you guys a little bit here. Buccaneers +6. I talked about how horrible they are, but this is a Vikings defense I don't think got much better. They gave up one of the top passing yards and rushing yards last year, and yet they were still such a great team because they were able to produce so much offense on their own. It's week 1. Unlike other people, I think that this might be one of the better versions we see out of the Buccaneers, and it might go all downhill from there. They might start off decent and then get worse, not the opposite. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers +6 week 1 over the Minnesota Vikings.
I got nothing to do with that game. That game to me is completely up in the air. I could see the Vikings absolutely stomping them, and then I can also see the Vikings absolutely putting up a stinker. So that's one that you're gonna have on your own there. But give us another one since I rocked a couple in a row. Or if you're all out, my board's way too big this week, guys. It feels bad.
I like the Dolphins +3. I talked about them. I like their division in general. So why not start off by betting them in week 1 here against the Chargers? Their game's obviously going to be a shootout. The Chargers are a team. I honestly feel bad for Justin Herbert because he does his part. He puts up big numbers, but their defense hasn't gotten much better. I don't think they had a really good offseason. And realistically, Justin Herbert does not have good pass protection at all. His offensive line lets him down. He's not a very mobile quarterback. I talked about it with the Dolphins. If they come in healthy, which they are, if Tua can stay healthy, he's got a lot of receivers. They have a decent running back room. I don't trust it on a consistent basis, but when you got a guy like Tyreek that can stretch the field, getting +3, I think, is a really good number there. I'll take the Dolphins +3 against the Chargers.
Yeah, so I actually had the over 51.5, so that kind of parlays into what you were saying. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think both offenses are better than their defensive counterpart. So I think we'll see points. Herbert's amazing. Two, if he can stay healthy. Like you said, you have Tyreek to take the top off the defense. You have Jalen Waddle on those underneath routes. The offensive line is pretty good. You know, it is what it is. You're just kind of banking on Tua to make the smart reads and do the things that he needs to do. But yeah, over 51.5, -110. I think personally, I would rather bet the total than the game, but I can definitely see where Andrew's coming from. But to go into another game here, kind of a shocker, Eagles versus Patriots.
What are you taking?
I'm loyalty. I'm taking the Eagles -4. I don't care if they're playing in Foxborough. I don't care what you think about Bill Belichick. We're going to go in there and steamroll them. I've been talking to the boys for 2 weeks now, all the Patriots guys that we're friends with. Oh, but it's Bill, it's Foxborough, it's this, it's that. We're coming off a Super Bowl loss. We have something to prove. Like, people think, oh, they made it to the Super Bowl, they're going to be content. No, Jalen Hurts is not going to be content. A.J. Brown is not going to be content. Devontae Smith is not going to be content. We have a brand new running room. Our defense, to me, is the best in the league. Maybe, middle linebacker, like I stated, is an issue, and maybe the Jets have a better pass rush. But as an overall unit, I think we're the best defense in the league, and I think the Pats are really going to struggle at home. And to parlay that, I also like the Eagles team total, -23.5. That's -150, so that's kind of chalky. But what I was saying with the Ravens is both of those bets to me go hand in hand. So you could just parlay the two of them if you want, kind of boost those odds a little bit. I'm not going to recommend parlaying. I do it myself, and I lose a bunch of money, and I win a bunch of money. So it's just kind of at your own discretion. But yeah, Eagles -4, team total 23.5.
That's the thing. What you just said there about like them coming in, the chip on their shoulder. I know we can throw out these cliche terms. I think all those really work for them. That's what got me off the under. I like the under in that game, kind of, and it's hard to not like an under involving a Patriots game. But I feel like if I liked an under, I'd probably have to look at their team total under for the Patriots because the Eagles could just screw me and just run the score up. I'll blast through a few I like. Honestly, a lot of people, I don't know if you guys bet teasers or not. 6-point teaser, getting to those key football numbers. I think if you combine the Steelers that are +2.5, get them up to 8.5. You take the Browns that are also at 2.5, get them to 8.5. I think both those games, Browns, Bengals, and Steelers, Niners, I think both those games are within a touchdown, no matter who wins. Really close game. So that's my teaser of the week. I really like the Raiders +3.5 against the Broncos. And my last play I will take is the Buffalo Bills on the money line, Monday Night Football.
All right, so just to wrap mine up.
Are you on the opposite of that one?
I got the 49ers money line, but I'm not super confident in it. I think there's two teams in the NFC, 49ers, Eagles. Big 49ers guy, quote unquote. I'm not a fan, but I like what they have going there. It's just going to be interesting to see if Brock Purdy is going to be able to create the magic, but equally for the Steelers, is Kenny Pickett going to make that next step? I would rather go with the team that I've seen do it than, banking on, Najee Harris didn't have a good year. Deontay Johnson didn't have a good year. Kenny Pickett was all right, but statistically not really anything to, ride home about. But I'm not...
We're going to both win that.
Yeah, I'm not
They're
uber
gonna keep
confident.
Within a touchdown. I'm going to hit my teaser. You're going to hit your money line.
Yeah, I'm not uber confident in it, but it was too hard to turn down the 49ers at -130 versus a team that very well, could suck. They could be good and they could suck. That's the one thing about the Steelers that I have no idea about. But not uber confident, but still on my card. Packers, Bears. Andrew's going to hate me again. Bears money line, -115. I like the Bears. I like Justin Fields. I hope he makes a step this year because he had a lot of hate, and we've gone over the Bears roster's improvement. And then I also like the Bears team total over 19.5. I think if they're going to beat the Packers, they're going to have to score 20 points.
We have to watch this game together.
Oh, we're going to watch it together.
For the record, I like the Packers, but there's this thing now just because of all the people like around me and my work stuff. I hate betting bad numbers. So you're getting a better number because money's coming on the Packers. I like Packers teased up, but I also like them on the plus. It was plus 2.5.
Yeah.
And now it's plus 1. Pretty big movement. So.
Yeah, so at plus 1,
we're
I'm just
watching
going to
the
take
game
the money
together
line.
for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll definitely have some talks. And then on the other side, Broncos versus Raiders. I actually like the Broncos minus 3.5, which is kind of crazy after the year that they had last year. Very poor team. Weren't coached very well, which Sean Payton made known to the entire world that wasn't a huge fan of Nathaniel Hackett. But very good defense, very good pass rush. If Sean Payton can get his schemes together to get the ball out of Russell's hands where it's not everything's a deep shot. And last year there was too many times where Russell Wilson was just holding the ball just a fraction too long. I think Sean Payton's going to improve that this year. He had Drew Brees. He knows. I think Drew Brees and Russell Wilson are very similar in the fact that shorter QBs, pretty good accurate QBs, maybe didn't have the best arms down the field, but still like to throw the ball down the field. And Russell's just a little bit more athletic. So I think that kind of lends to a big improvement for him this year. I think Sean Payton's an excellent coach. But that I got one. Oh, I got two more. But yeah, so Broncos minus 3.5, minus 110. Dallas versus Giants over 46.5. I think it's going to be.
Divisional over.
It's a divisional over, and I hate doing this because the Cowboys' defense is really good. I think they're a really good defense. I think the Giants also have a really good defense, but I like what both offenses have for weapons this year. I think the Giants really can put up points against them. And I think, on the off chance I'm wrong, fuck it. And then I also got Dallas minus 3.5. I think Dallas beats the Giants. And then Monday Night Football. And it's weird to say this, and I don't mean this in any sort of way, but there's no way that you cannot take the Jets on 9/11 in New York.
Don't be bringing that up, man.
No, it's crazy to say, but that building's gonna be rocking because that. I don't know if you've ever seen the videos when the New York teams have played on 9/11.
I have, yeah.
Those buildings go bananas. It's a moment of the city coming together, whether you're a Jets fan or you're a Giants fan. They're going to be going bananas in that building. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come up with a point to prove, and it just kind of lends to everything I've said about the Jets.
But you don't think that they gradually get better as the season goes on? You think they right away knock off the best team in the division? They just beat them in the first game? All right.
It's not an ideal.
I like two favorites this week. I like two favorites, the Ravens and the Bills.
It's not ideal, man.
Rest of my picks are underdogs.
If the Bills win, the Bills win. I'm not going to be upset about it.
No,
but
I know. I'm just chirping you.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is it's the script for me.
Yeah.
It's the script. And, before we head out of here, if you haven't watched this, I'm never going to promote someone else's content. If you haven't seen the video of Jersey Jerry and Big Cat at Jersey Jerry's new house in Chicago that's haunted, and Big Cat asked the ghost if the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl, and the meter, I don't know, it reads energy or something, and the meter goes bananas. This is one of the best pieces of content I've ever seen. Go watch this and then tell me how you cannot bet on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. Have you seen it?
No, but I've heard about it. I've seen people tweeting about it and stuff like that. I haven't watched it.
So definitely go watch it. It is absolutely hilarious. Andrew said he hadn't watched it. Mike's a little far away, but besides that, I don't really have anything else, man. I think we had a lot of bets. I'm not going to run through my futures, but just to kind of recap the card for week 1, Chiefs minus 5.5, over 53.5. Bengals, over 53. Browns money line. Ravens team total over 27.5. Ravens minus 10. 49ers money line. Bears money line. Bears team total over 19.5. Broncos minus 3.5. Over 51.5 in the Dolphins Chargers. Eagles minus 4. Eagles team total 23.5. Dallas and New York over 46.5. Dallas minus 3.5, and then the Jets on the money line.
Man, I'm pumped up. All this football talk is getting me excited. Breaking down games that I hadn't already thought about betting on gets me excited. And so this I'm just throwing this out here. I think this was a little bit longer of an episode because we did the futures, and this is our first show of this NFL edition. what I'm thinking for next week, we'll kind of recap the week before and then just jump right into some picks we like.
Yeah, and the slate's not going to be this big, I don't think. I think it's Christmas Eve for everybody, so I think everybody's slate's going to be a little bit bigger on week 1 than maybe week 2, especially if the bankroll isn't looking too great.
And we'll talk about what we did well in, and we'll make fun of ourselves on stuff we were wrong about and different things like that. So quickly for me, Baltimore minus 9.5. Probably one of my favorites, I guess you could say, on the board. I like the Browns, but I'm going to tease them up, but I do like the Browns as well. But in that game, my best bet is the Bengals-Browns under 47.5. Let's call that one my best bet really on the show. Raiders, I'm on them plus 3.5. Jake and I are head-to-head on that one. And what was it? Oh, yeah, Steelers-Browns up. I like that. And obviously Packers, I'm riding them. I'm a fan. Nobody takes me seriously because I'm a fan of the team. I think they come out here. Let me see if I missed anything. Anything you remember me saying? I'm trying to remember. There was one that I missed.
You were enjoying the teasers quite a bit, and then I think you also had
Dolphins.
Dolphins, yeah.
Dolphins plus 3. Dolphins plus 3. Don't forget that one. And little sprinkle on the money line, of course.
I think just before we go to, me and Andrew are going to try and figure out a way where maybe week 1's kind of tough. Like we'll call it like our week 0 for NFL versus college football where we don't really keep track. We'll keep track just to kind of go over. But I think for the season, me and Andrew kind of talked about having a little challenge between ourselves where we give out our picks, maybe whatever your card is that week is whatever your card is that week, and whatever how many ever games are on or how many games are on it, and we'll keep track who has the higher winning percentage, and maybe we'll take some suggestions from you on what the loser has to do or what the winner has to give, like just something like that where we can kind of keep it fun where we're keeping track of our picks, but we're also kind of going up against each other. It makes it a little bit more fun, when you're on the Packers and I'm on the Bears.
Yeah.
We both, maybe had 6 games that were the same and we're like, all right, well, that's going to be the deciding game for this week on who wins. But just a little idea. But obviously, we're super excited to bring this to you. We're going to be doing this every week on Tuesday or Wednesday. It'll be out before the Thursday nighter. If you have any final thoughts.
This is it. I mean, it's all about the engagement. So if you watch, you like it, hit the like button, comment like Jake mentioned, and share things. And literally, let us know who you're cheering for. Let us know who you're betting. And
suggestions
it'll be fun. Like, really, the next few weeks, you're going to hopefully be entertained, and hopefully you win with us. And like Jake said, we'll try and not give out 1 million without giving out some best bets. But there's so many picks we like in week 1. So do you want to throw one out as your favorite or not this week?
Yeah, I'll throw out the one as my favorite. I think it's going to have to be the Eagles -4. Like I said, it's my team, but I think they're going to kill the Patriots. I also hate the Patriots, so it's just like a perfect week 1 matchup. But, for moving forward, let's keep the good times rolling, man. It should be a fun season. And who knows, maybe, next week we'll definitely have Noah with us from the people that watch We All Gamble and know Mayflower Sports. Noah was unable to make it tonight, but he's coming back for week 2. So you'll have another person here with another personality, another perspective on betting and what they like for week 2. But for week 1, I'm Jacob. This is Andrew. This was the We All Gamble podcast. Have a good night.